I didn't want to be there. That wasn't bitterness, just honesty. My sister Savannah's birthday parties always felt like a stage show where I was the wrong colored prop in a perfect white backdrop. Every year they got more expensive, more ridiculous, and somehow more fake. And yet I went because after losing my job 3 months earlier and crashing on my parents' couch, I didn't have the luxury of skipping family obligations. I'd been told more than once, you're living under our roof, so you'll show up and smile. Smile, nod, clean up, and disappear. That had become my unofficial job description. Savannah's 26th birthday was being hosted at our parents' house. A backyard blowout with white linen tents, gold foil balloons,
और
and
सी बात है
waitstaff who
पीछे से
looked
अगर आप
more
देखेंगे आप लोगों
nervous
को पता चल
than
जाएगा इट्स
festive.
एंड्रॉइड स्टीरियो
It
और
was all for Savannah, of course, the lawyer to be, the one with a custom cake, champagne tower, and monogrammed party favors. And then there was me wearing last year's jeans and borrowed heels, doing my best not to look like someone who hadn't had a paycheck in 14 weeks. I stayed quiet most of the night, kept close to the buffet table, helped the servers restock plates, made small talk with a few cousins. No one noticed. No one ever did until she decided to make a scene. Savannah had already downed her third mimosa when she called everyone's attention to the backyard patio. Mom crinked her glass like we were in a wedding reception. My
This
dad
highway
smirked
has no speed
beside me
limit.
with his drinking hand. Savannah stood in the center, radiant in a designer dress with her flawless hair and a smug little grin that always meant someone was about to bleed emotionally. I just want to thank everyone for coming, she said sweetly. It means a lot that my family and friends are here today, the ones who actually have their lives together. Everyone laughed. But also she added special thanks to my favorite reminder of what not to become. People turned their heads confused. She pointed at me. Homeless, she said loud and clear. Get out. Laughter. Not just from her, from my parents. My mother actually put her hand over her mouth like she was trying not to choke from giggling. My father slapped his knee and shook his head. Even the caterer looked stunned. I stood there frozen, holding a half-empty soda cup and a paper plate with 2 skewers of shrimp that now felt like they were burning a hole through my stomach. I thought it was a joke. For a second, I waited for her to say, "Kidding." But she didn't. She just raised her glass again and toasted to the people who don't mooch off others just because life gets a little hard. And then my dad called out, "She's right. Pack your things by tonight. We're not running a shelter." Everyone heard it. The music didn't even cover it up. My chest burned. I didn't cry. Not there. I handed the plate to a server, nodded silently, and walked straight back through the house, past the birthday photos, past the cake, past the childhood hallway that still had Savannah's tennis trophies displayed and none of my art awards. I made it to the room, the guest room, not mine, as my mother liked to say, and started folding
लोगों
the
को
few
वारंट और
clothes I had. No one came after me. No one checked in. An hour later, I rolled my suitcase down the gravel driveway while the party raged on in the backyard like nothing had happened. My mother caught sight of me through the kitchen window. She smiled. That night, I slept in my car. I parked behind a gym that stayed open 24 hours so I could use the bathroom without getting reported. I wrapped my jacket around my waist, used a balled-up hoodie as a pillow, and stared at the ceiling of the car, wondering how my own family had just cheered for my humiliation. Not pied me, not tried to help, cheered. And that's when I knew this wasn't just about failure. This was about power. Savannah had everything, the attention, the praise, the status. But that night, she needed something more. She needed a scene. She needed an audience to watch me fall so she could rise. And my parents, they needed someone to sacrifice to the illusion their family was still perfect. They thought kicking me out would bury me. They thought homelessness would silence me. But what they didn't realize, what they never even considered, was that I wasn't staying quiet anymore. I wasn't going to claw my way back just to beg them for space again. I was going to rise and watch them sink in the lie they built. And when I came back, it wouldn't be for forgiveness. It would be for reckoning. I thought sleeping in my car would be the low point. But life has a way of pushing even harder when you're already on the floor. Day 2, I woke up to a parking ticket on my windshield. Day 3, it rained and soaked through the back window seal, leaving my backpack damp and my last clean hoodie smelling like mildew. Day 4, I used a public library sink to wash my hair. No one called. Not Savannah, not my parents, not even my extended family who had watched it all unfold like a live sitcom. And yet, every day I woke up, I felt something growing inside me. Not anger, not even shame anymore. Clarity. They had always needed me to be the problem, the contrast, the backdrop for Savannah's golden light. The more I failed, the more they could tell themselves they were good parents because she turned out perfect. But I wasn't going to stay their contrast. I was going to become their consequence. And the first step, getting off the street. I applied for emergency housing through a local women's shelter that had an open bed, just one. The intake counselor didn't ask too many questions. She looked at me, heard my story, and said, "They kicked you out over cake and champagne." I nodded. She shook her head. "Honey, you've had me here for less. Welcome home." It wasn't much. A shared room, bunk beds, fluorescent lights that hummed too loud
अगर
for
आप
me,
जैज के सम यूज
but it was clean, safe, and it gave me a mailing address, which meant I could apply for work again. I started small food delivery at first, then a seasonal admin job at a warehouse, typing shipping labels 8 hours a day with blisters on my fingers and heat packs on my back. But I showed up every single day. In the same week, Savannah posted her birthday photo dump full of filters, champagne, and a caption about knowing who your real tribe is. I was offered a paid apprenticeship in digital logistics. It wasn't glamorous, but it was a door. I stepped through it, and I didn't look back. Over the next 6 months, I saved every spare cent. I learned how to budget, build credit, and file for a professional name change. Not legally yet, but online in the places that mattered. I dropped my last name from my email, removed my family from every emergency contact list. I was rebuilding quietly, brick by brick. But the part that mattered most, I wasn't just surviving, I was watching. See, Savannah loved being adored, and she also loved broadcasting it. Her LinkedIn was public, so were her bar prep videos, her blog about balancing ambition and beauty, and her weekly sisterhood shoutouts where she tagged influencers she didn't actually know. And that's where I saw it, an announcement. She was being nominated for a Regional Women in Justice Award, honoring young female legal minds who demonstrated integrity, leadership, and public impact. Integrity, leadership, Savannah. The same person who pointed at her unemployed sister in front of a party and called her homeless, then laughed while she was thrown out. I stared at that post for 10 minutes, then I screenshotted it because I had a better photo. One of me standing beside the buffet table holding a soda cup and a paper plate moments before she made her announcement, and another from someone else's Instagram story saved by the internet where Savannah, champagne in hand, pointed and laughed while I stood frozen in place. I didn't even have to explain the context. The visuals did it for me. The hypocrisy, the cruelty, the pride, and I knew what to do, not destroy her career. That would have been too easy, too predictable. No, I would let her reach the peak, get close enough to taste it, and then let her watch it all slip from her hands. The awards ceremony was held at a swanky rooftop event space in downtown Chicago. Glass walls, string quartet, tables draped in satin. Every woman on the finalist list had a story of perseverance, excellence, or breakthrough advocacy. Most of them deserved it. Savannah didn't, but she was nominated anyway because she knew how to craft an image, how to turn performance into a brand, how to say the right words with the right smile, and how to make sure her real story never made it into the spotlight. Until now. I didn't get an invitation, of course, but I didn't need one. I wasn't going there to be seen. I had already mailed what needed to be seen. The day before the gala, I sent 2 manila envelopes, one to the award committee and one to the keynote speaker, a former civil rights attorney now leading a mentorship initiative for young women in law. Inside each envelope were 3 photos. One, me at Savannah's birthday standing awkwardly by the buffet in clothes that didn't match the scene. 2, Savannah mid-toast pointing at me. 3, a screen grab of the text post she made the next day. No room in your life for people who keep dragging you down. Protect your energy even when they're family. Underneath, I wrote only one line. This is what Savannah calls leadership. I didn't sign it. I didn't need to, because the moment the first speaker mentioned background checks, I knew it had worked. Savannah was seated front row,